What is up, everybody? Live from WZBC Newton, it's time for First Stop, Saturday morning, 9 a.m. as usual here at Boston College. Today, we have a great show for you, jam-packed as always.
In this episode, we have a special guest in the studio, Sungho, a high-end sports analyst, and a three-point known down shooter.
Three-point knockdown shooter.
What is up, Sungho?
How's it going, guys? Great to have you guys today.
Glad to have you on. Highlights also include the NBA rookie class, the Suns, Bulls, and Cavs, and a great interview to end it off. But as always, let's start with sports. Jacob, lead us off.
As usual, we're going to start with the NBA. So recently, there was an article that came out by 538, and it broke down how NBA fans move throughout the season. They broke down the highs and lows of each team's fan base starting from 2012. And honestly, you can see some bandwagoning going on. Like with Miami, peaked back in 2012, and now there's almost no fan base. Lakers now have the highest fan base they've had in quite a few years. Denver, slowly uprising. But what are your thoughts on kind of bandwagoning? Is it good? Are you a bandwagon?
Me personally, it's a tough call. I wouldn't call myself a bandwagon just because I'm not a guy that always. I'm not a team guy. I follow a lot of players, individual players, and believe it or not, a lot of people watch NBA just because they love the game, and I also do too. I also use it as a way for me to improve when I play basketball. So I follow a lot of basketball players. I was a big Derrick Rose and Paul George guy, so I always followed whatever team they were on. So in high school, it was always the Pacers and Bulls. But now, since both players have switched around and stuff, I've been following a lot of Oklahoma City Thunder, and Minnesota's been playing well. So
I think you're, Eric, probably like the biggest loyalty guy I know with the Cavs.
Yeah, no, I thought you were about to say I'm the biggest bandwagoner.
Oh, no. With LeBron, without LeBron, you're always a Cavs fan.
Well, that's the thing is I don't know. I think bandwagoning happens because people start seeing teams getting better. I mean, the Browns 2 years ago were awful, so no one supported them. There still was a loyal base and core. But now once you start winning and you start proving yourself as a team, people are ultimately just going to be like, okay, they're worth my time. Yeah. And some are like, oh, that's not the best way to do it. I think the worst way to be is some of my friends will be like, oh, I'm a Lakers fan now because I'm on LeBron. I get if you're a player first follower, but the only issue is then you have no loyalty to any teams. You only have loyalty to that player. When they retire, who are you loyal to, right? Or who do you support? And so I'll there's certainly bandwagon people. Like the Cavs this year are not great, so there are people that say, okay, I'm not going to support the Cavs. I'm going to leave the Cavs. And that's I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like with Sungho. Like I'm a LeBron guy. Like I like LeBron wherever he is, whether that's Cavs, Lakers, or Heat.
Right.
But I'm also kind of like a Bulls Celtics fan too. So I don't know. I guess you can be both. But like with the Warriors, for example, I think a lot of people think that their whole fan base are just bandwagoners. Yeah. They did a funny interview once, I think, with Jimmy Kimmel or something, where they asked them like funny questions and like, yo, what do you think of like their starting five? Do you think they're gonna run like the 2-3 vanilla swirl tonight? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, most definitely. Like,
yeah, right.
It's just funny, yeah.
It is. Yeah, I mean, especially with the Warriors, I think there are a lot of people that are just like, oh, I love Golden State, they're the best. Well, wait until all of them leave. KD goes to maybe the Knicks or wherever he's gonna go, like, and the team starts breaking apart because it's way too easy for them to win. Mm-hmm. Will there still be people? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, I'm a guy that literally follows almost all 30 NBA teams. I have a good idea of where each team is at and stuff. Yeah. So every year I've always look and see who's playing well. What's a team on the uprise? And obviously there's always the Warriors that are still up there. And right now the thing I'm thinking about is how long is this going to last?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And there's been some adversity this season. How are they going to get through it? And is this going to be another cakewalk to the finals and winning a title? Or is this going to be another dogfight where they have to play teams like Houston that gave them a problem? I don't know if Houston's going to give them a problem this year, just the way they've been playing. But there's definitely going to be teams that are going to be scrapping and going to want the Warriors number. So
right.
Yeah.
Now you're a Suns fan, and I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Denver's the Cavs. Talk about the Bulls. Kind of our three teams are Definitely.
teams,
all in the
yeah.
same place, rebuilding.
Rebuilding.
I like this. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the Suns. Like some of the Suns have some great young players, and Booker. I'm a fan of Aiden. I think maybe his numbers aren't shown, but
No, I think he's overrated.
overrated.
I do. I think he is a bust. No good numbers.
A bust.
Total bust.
Wow.
I just don't see him as a solid player. I just think the Suns in general, if they were to go up against the Cavs, another bad team, I'd be like, yeah, I think that I'd favor the Cavs only because of like our talent versus their talent.
Yeah.
I mean, DeAndre Ayton as your number one guy, I don't know how I feel.
Well,
What
I
do you
think Booker's the number one guy.
Well, yeah, I
do you
definitely have Devin Booker as the number one option. I think this ties into what's the most important in a team is, and that's the owners and ownership that takes place in an organization.
Yeah.
If you have a team that has bad ownership that makes and the owner makes horrible decisions, there's absolutely no way an organization is going to be sustainable. And that's the reason why the Suns organization has been pretty unsustainable for the last 8 years. It's been since 2010 since we made the playoffs.
Yeah.
A while ago. It's not like we're horrible. We definitely had a year or two where we were fighting for a playoff spot. Obviously, the Western Conference is deep, like always. And then we back to square one. Look, it's like we have good young players, but it's just like if we don't make the right decisions for ownership, I can give you a good example. Like we got rid of Brandon Knight for Ryan Anderson. His contract is ridiculous, $25 million. He's not even playing well.
Yeah.
He's old. He's ridiculously old.
Mm-hmm.
You throw $15 million to Trevor Ariza. Like these are the kind of decisions where I'm like, you're just throwing a bunch of veterans and like it just doesn't fit like that. That's not how it works. And then you throw like $2 million to Jamal Crawford, who's like 40 years old on his way out of the league. Love Jamal Crawford. Jay Crossover, like my God, like he's awesome. He was probably like my favorite player when he played for the Clippers when they had that run. But it's just like he's old. It's just this doesn't make sense. Like the signings they've made, like the team they built, just doesn't make sense. It doesn't mesh well whatsoever.
That's why it's about finding like a system that works. So the Warriors are so good because they know they're a shooting team. They're gonna get shooters. That's why Kevin Durant fits so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's about finding your guy. And I think with the Suns, there's so many guys who are trying to fight for that spot, like with Josh Jackson, DeAndre Ayton.
Exactly.
So it's who do you center it around, and then you have to get players that work with him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think so. Going back to like, if the Suns were to face the Cavs, I mean, we just lost Kyle Korver. They didn't use him well, I don't think at all. They really did not, use him as much as they should have. He's a pretty solid shooter. Now he's going back to the Jazz, and I think in exchange we got 2 second-round picks.
Sure.
Which is fine. I mean, I'll take 2 second-round picks to help rebuild. If we can get some solid picks in the second round, I mean, that's fine. I'll take those. But against the Bulls, I mean, guys are kind of trash.
The Bulls?
Yeah, you guys are kind of trash.
Know.
You're definitely, this is definitely, I don't know what happened, but you guys are like...
I think I have some similar frustrations with Sungho. Like with Gar Forman and the Bulls GM, it's like I remember draft night 2 years ago, and it was announced that they traded Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves, and all of us were just like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
We thought Jimmy Butler was our guy. They were going to build around him. And now it's tough because I'm not even sure where they're Wendell Carter Jr. seems really promising. I like him. Zach LaVine, he's actually playing really well considering that he's coming back from a pretty bad injury.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like the Bulls, we have a lot of guards and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I actually think you guys won that trade, to be honest. Getting rid of Jimmy Butler, believe it or not.
In hindsight,
Because,
yeah.
in hindsight.
Honestly.
After what happened for Minnesota,
my gosh.
it was disastrous.
Yeah. Because that could have happened to the Bulls what he did to Timberwolves.
Just destroy, yeah.
As much as the Bulls struggled this year, like we have to take into account Markkanen hasn't even played a single minute yet, and he was a big part of
last year.
Year, and Chris Dunn hasn't really played well. There's been a lot of injuries for this team. Denzel Valentine's out for the season.
I know.
Right.
Jabari.
Parker's been playing all right. It's just
these guys are just trash.
Jeez.
I actually think
a lot of what ifs.
I think the Bulls have a lot of problems with talent. I think out of all 3 teams, Cleveland, Phoenix, and Chicago, I think the Bulls definitely have the most promising.
Yeah.
And I know Foreman hasn't made the best decisions.
Yeah.
However, he's the young assets they have, it's very promising for sure. Yeah.
I think you guys have it's crazy because it's a waiting game with the NBA. I think.
Yeah,
Like with rookies, it takes time for them to show. Like with Josh Jackson, I think he's going to be a good player, but it's going to take time for him to really show. Devin Booker was great because he came out of college and he was already dominating basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a waiting game, honestly. Like I don't think our teams will really be dominant for maybe another 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, certainly not the Bulls. I don't think the Bulls will. I don't think the Bulls will ever be dominant again.
Oh,
but the positive to both the Cavs and Bulls, Eastern Conference is never ridiculously strong like
that's
Western
so
Conference
true.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who would we be going up against? We'd be going up against now the
Celtics, Bucks.
Well, Celtics are 7th in the East.
Yeah.
They've been playing, but they're picking it up a little bit.
I guess. I don't know I don't know if they've really recovered from the road show when they went off and only won 1 of 5. I don't know if they've really recovered.
I think talking about the Celtics, we can move into the Celtics. I think it's just tough with all of them being healthy again. So I had the idea in the podcast last week. It's a very hot take, but that they should get rid of Hayward because I don't see him really fitting in that system.
Yeah.
And when you gave time to Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and now their minutes are dropped down, and now their plays not as well.
See, I don't know if I'd agree with that because he's done well in the past.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's a hot take. Maybe
scorching,
even if not nuclear. And the reason I say that is because he's done well in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, he got injured last year, first game. That's extremely tough. But last year, having him on the team now, say he would have played last year, it would have been the same story as it was the year before. So I don't know. I think he's a very solid player. I don't know. I think they have good components. This is the weird thing. You look at every individual player on the Celtics; they're a solid, very great starting 5.
Yeah.
What is going on? Is it rotations? Is it
I don't know.
Dynamic?
You know, I've been watching a lot of Celtics basketball. I think it's way too early to say trade Hayward and stuff.
Yeah.
Got to take into account this is his first season, basically.
Yeah.
He snapped his leg in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So like,
right.
Brad Stevens is having a hard time ingratiating him into the Celtics offense. And you have to take into account it is true. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been compromised to some extent. I think one thing about Jason Tatum is because Brad Stevens is trying his best to ingratiate Gordon Hayward to the offense. Yeah. I think his numbers have dropped off. Jason Tatum's numbers have dropped off a little bit. And I think it's to some extent, I feel like he doesn't really have the freedom that he had last year because obviously he was the only option in the 3, in the forward spot or the 4 spot. But we saw what he did in the playoffs. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really took off in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs. Really took off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the time when I was like, okay, this guy could be a number 1 option in the coming years when Kyrie ages and stuff. And we all know Kyrie's been playing well and stuff.
Oh, really well.
Yeah.
Extremely well.
I just think there's another thing of there's actually expectations now for Boston too.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't have that many expectations.
No, they came out of nowhere and it was kind of cool to see them.
Once Hayward went out, we were all like, they're done.
Right.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference, Cleveland's cakewalking.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they win 15 straight. They're 18-3.
Right.
This year they're 10-10.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what in God's earth is going on. But if you think about it, putting a new player into an offense and to top it off, he's coming off of a catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
That's a lot to work with for Brad Stevens. But this process really is going to show how really good of a coach Brad Stevens is.
Yeah, and he is an awesome coach.
Yeah,
amazing
he is.
Coach. Yeah.
But I want to see how this plays out in February, March. We'll see where their record is.
Yeah.
But right now is obviously it's going to take time for them to figure out how to put Gordon Hayward and put him in the system where to the point where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum do not necessarily have to be compromised that much to the point where they are now. And also Jaylen Brown's been injured. He got hurt in the Dallas game, so hopefully he gets healthy. Yeah.
I think the Celtics should be happy at least that Tatum and Brown aren't kind of like Butler, where they want to be the star of the team.
Well, they're components in a very potential machine that can work well. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Now the Raptors, they've just been very dominant in the East.
Yeah.
I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Lowry have just been crazy good. What are your thoughts on them?
This is not surprising, believe it or not. I don't think this is not surprising one bit.
Yeah.
A lot of us forgot how damn good Kawhi Leonard is.
Yeah.
I know
Best
the
two-way.
year he had last year, injury plague, and it was just a lot of weird story headlines that was going on in the Spurs organization. And this was the first time watching the Spurs where something like this has happened. I was like, I've never seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
Him coming to Toronto and stuff, this is a good team, and this is what I anticipated. And props to Nick Nurse. This is a guy that's never really had coaching experience.
Yeah, a good team coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And the way they've been playing, Kyle Lowry has been playing well, and Kyle Lowry and the Kawhi Leonard tandem has been great. I love DeRozan, but let's be honest, DeRozan isn't really as close to Kawhi. Maybe offensively, but defensively, absolutely not. I mean, Kawhi's like one of the best defensive players in the league, defensive player of the year potential like every single year.
Yeah.
This isn't surprising one bit. I have them winning 65 games this season.
65.
Yeah.
I like that.
I really do.
Yeah.
I have them as the number 1 seed. My question is, how are they going to do in the playoffs? Every year they've had a great regular season. Now I know this is a different new team.
Yeah.
We have to see. You have to prove at some point you're going to get past another team. And I know LeBron was in the way every single year.
Here's their bad mojo.
He's gone now.
Exactly. No excuse.
What are you going to do now?
Right.
And
do you think they could beat the Bucks
absolutely
in a series?
I think a lot of us are somewhat overhyping the Bucks a bit. We're acting like
That's Jacob.
this is going to be sustainable to some extent. Could be. But if you ask me, no, I'm sorry to the Bucks fans. I have them winning a playoff series and then they're going to get bounced out.
Second round exit.
Because you're either going to play Toronto or Boston. I'm sorry, you are not beating either team.
Do you think Boston's going to make it? I don't know. I think it's going to be the 76ers.
I would wait for.
Yeah.
So I see with LeBron going to a new team, for example. I always bring up LeBron. I don't know why.
Right.
But it takes time to figure out your system, your adjustment.
Exactly.
Once they figure that out, that's pretty dangerous.
I had Boston winning the title this year, believe it or not.
A lot of people thought they were
I'm still sticking with
favorites.
it because
The trade deadline could be huge for them.
yeah, well, not that, but like, let's say this Hayward experiment goes horribly. Let's say this is another Isaiah Thomas in Cleveland incident.
Yeah.
No big deal. Ship him out and stick to what you had last year.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah.
True. And I have them winning because like that starting five is ridiculous. On paper, it is ridiculous. I know it hasn't shown that much this season.
No.
But if there's two teams that can contend with Golden State, it's got to be Toronto or Boston. I don't know anyone in the Western Conference currently. We all know Houston hasn't been playing well.
No, not
Not
at
only
all.
that, the Western Conference standings right now.
They're out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The Clippers and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Don't get me wrong; those are going to be two playoff teams.
Yeah.
For sure. Do not tell me by the end of the season the Clippers are going to be a 1 seed though. That would be shell-shocking if that
crazy.
happens. I will be
That
shell-shocked.
would be crazy. Yeah.
That is a really good team.
Yeah.
Props to Doc Rivers.
Yep.
And the guy that I've been really watching out for the Clippers, Montrezl Harrell. That is my pick for most improved player of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Hellacious defender, and he's just a pest offensively too. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and Tobias Harris has been playing well too. Like
Yeah, he's always been a good player.
it's
The
been
La-
great.
What are your thoughts on the Lakers and LeBron? It's kind of turning into Cleveland. That's what Magic Johnson said. He said we don't want this to turn into a Cleveland. We
What
need
meaning and what?
and meaning in the way that LeBron's not going to start coaching again, basically,
Okay.
because now he's in panic mode. They're not doing as well as they should be doing.
I think-
Preseason projections did not put them as the 6th team in the Western Conference. They definitely were supposed to be a top 5.
Yeah.
And so Magic's like, we need to give him talent. Well, that's the same argument we had in Cleveland. We need to give him talent. Well, he has a young core. Why can't he work with that young core?
Well, I think what Magic Johnson's concerned about is him carrying a ridiculous load that he had last year.
Yeah.
Playing 82 games. His minutes was ridiculous. His minutes have dropped down like 2 or 3 minutes compared to last year.
Yeah.
I just think
I think it's tough because with LeBron this past offseason, I wanted him to go either to the Lakers or I thought the Spurs would actually be a really good spot because LeBron's never been given a good coach.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see
That's true.
Popovich be the top dog on a team and LeBron's following his system. I think Luke
Do
Walton isn't.
you think LeBron could do that though? Follow a coach's system?
I mean,
not his own.
Who wouldn't want to play for Popovich? I guess
I don't know though. I mean, he's used to being the coach and a player at the same time. Could he do that shift?
Yeah.
I thought he thrived well in Spoelstra. Spoelstra's an amazing coach and stuff. Yeah. But I feel like in Cleveland, we always had this impression of he's the coach. Yeah. And the coach was just sitting there.
Blatt and then
like with Jordan and like Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Like he was able to play with Phil Jackson.
Yeah, right.
One more question on the Raptors. Do you think if the Raptors win, I think Kawhi stays? Raptors don't win, is Kawhi gone?
I really don't know. We don't know who this guy is. We have absolutely no clue what this guy is and what his approach in free agency is. I wish I knew. We have no clue.
I bet you he stays.
Yeah.
I bet you he stays if they're doing well. Why would he? He left the Spurs because it was obviously injury prone, and they also didn't get along with
why go to the Knicks? Right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, like everyone says he might go to LA, but if this works well, like
I don't see him especially going to the Western Conference. Why not carve out a name for yourself in the East? Because it's so easy to. Yeah. You have Embiid. Who are you going up against if you're Kawhi Leonard? You are the East right now.
Yeah.
And so why not stay and be the East?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oladipo, he's pretty solid this year. I mean, he was solid last year.
He's been all right. He's out for a while though, which is kind of concerning. But this Pacers team, despite having Oladipo out the past couple games, have been hanging in there. Their record's been all right.
Yeah.
I knew when he was getting traded to Indiana, I knew he was going to thrive.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And I was like, potential most improved player. Took off. My God, when he was playing in the playoffs, that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. Like I'm happy for Oladipo that he's thriving in Indiana because that trade, I think, worked out for both ways, to be honest, perfectly.
Definitely.
Looking back.
Right. After a quick music break, we'll be talking about the rookie class of the NBA and how the Bulls are still trash. Keep it locked and rocking here at WZBC.
Welcome back to First Stop. So, Derrick Rose has resurgenced in this league. 50-point game night on Halloween night. You're a big Derrick Rose fan, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I did not see him scoring 50, but I had him bouncing back this season. Last season, there was just a lot of things going on, a lot of personal stuff, and not only that, but injuries too.
Yep.
But we all know, like, when he's healthy, he's capable of playing. Like a lot of us kind of forgot, like, how good he was, and I know he's not the same, obviously, but the way he's been playing this season, like, it's been great. And like, I think he's almost like the number one option. Yeah. Next to Karl Anthony Towns for this Timberwolves team. They've been playing well. They've won 4 straight.
Yeah, true.
11-11. Could be fighting for a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they slide back in, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was playing 2K last night, and I was at Timberwolves, and Derrick Rose was going off in 2K, just like in real life. I'm like, he's great. And it's great that he's the one guy who deserves to kind of come back and be a great player. He has so much heart.
As much as we joke about his injuries and stuff, like, as a big D Rose fan, like, I always had faith in him no matter what. Mm-hmm. And this kind of ties into, like, being a bandwagoner. When a player doesn't play well, like, people just forget about him.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, we all forgot about him, and I followed him every year. People are like, oh, he hasn't played well since he got injured.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Kawhi Leonard, right? When he got injured, people forget about him.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Maybe not even distance him, but they just truly forget about him.
Even when he played for the Knicks for 1 year, for Christ's sake, he still played well. The team was horrible. Phil Jackson just sabotaged the entire team, and the season was washed, but he still played well.
Yeah.
Like, it just... When he's healthy, he's very capable of playing. And unfortunately, like, it is what it is. His game is also somewhat outdated because of how everyone's shooting the three. He's still been shooting the three well. He's shooting like 54% from three, which is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, my God, that for Derrick Rose, like, that's a miracle. If he sustains that, he's going to last in this league.
Yeah. No, oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, no more, like, $2 million contracts. I think he should stay in Minnesota long term. This seems like an ideal situation for him. I think this should be the time where he should settle down and not move around all over the place. We all know he went from New York, and then obviously that wasn't an ideal situation, so he went to Cleveland. Yeah. Cleveland was a mess, so they just dumped everyone else not named LeBron James, and he goes to Minnesota. Well, he goes to Utah, waives him, and then he waits a while because he has another personal thing going on. Joins Minnesota, kind of got his rhythm back in the playoffs. He played well in the playoffs,
Right.
and I said he's gonna play like this next coming season,
Yeah.
assuming he's healthy. And
Right.
look where he's at.
Now we talk about rookies here. Luka, Sexton, very, very great rookie class this year.
Oh yeah, my gosh, I've been watching a lot of Luka Doncic highlights. He's been playing terrific.
Yeah.
Sexton's been great. I'm
Yep.
I'm rooting for Sexton.
Yeah.
I have him. He's gonna get a couple votes for rookie of the year. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be rookie of the year. He's been playing great.
Who do you
though.
think will be rookie of the year?
I have Doncic.
Doncic,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. It seems obvious at this point.
It's
Another guy I've been thinking of. I've been watching a lot of Trae Young. I've been rooting for
Yeah,
him. He's
yeah.
been playing alright. No one thinks about how good of a passer he is. He's a ridiculously good passer.
Yeah.
Even right now, he's finding people. Him and John Collins connection has been great.
Ball movement's pretty
Yeah.
key. Yeah.
And I just, Trae Young's been playing well. I know his shooting percentage has not been great. He hasn't been shooting the ball well, but he is terrific. And he's ridiculously quick and stuff.
It's so awesome. The Mavericks always pull that like foreign guy who like turns out to be like he's the new Dirk basically of their team.
I mean, that organization is pretty decent. Like,
Yeah,
it taps into ownership. Picking a guy like Doncic, like he's good, he's great, and I think it's the best ideal situation. I know a lot of people will probably be like, "Oh, why didn't Phoenix draft him?" Like, I don't know if he would have played well with Devin Booker, and because let's be honest, I know people call him a point guard. He's 6'8", but he's more like a shooting guard and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if he played with Devin Booker, it would have been. I don't know how that would have gone. It would have been a lot of question marks and stuff. But.
Yeah. Why do you think the Rockets have been doing so poorly? I remember we were talking about this before. I mean, they're pretty foundational players. I mean,
They got a lot. They did a lot of movements over the offseason.
Right.
So getting rid of Trevor Ariza, who was a really good defensive player.
That was not.
huge.
Yeah, that was one of the major red flag move that happened right there.
Yeah.
Sending
Definitely not
Trevor
good for the
Ariza.
program.
At all.
Because this is almost back to square one for Houston's major issue, which was defense. Last year, at least they had a defensive identity, and obviously Chris Paul's obviously getting hurt again, like he always is, and it's just, I mean, at this point, it's just like you need defensive wings, like to play well.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Like, well, they did scapegoat Carmelo Anthony clearly, and got rid of him within 10 games, and then even now, like, they've been playing all right, not that great, but like I don't think
10 for 11.
Yeah,
10
I don't
11.
think he's the reason why they were horrible and stuff, and like so. I mean, but yeah, I mean this ties into defense. Like their defense, they've lost their defensive identity, and you need that to beat the Warriors. You're not going to beat them offensively. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. What better way to do it than get a bunch of scrappy guys like Trevor Ariza, even Luke Bamuthi to some extent. He helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they'll pick it up soon.
Yeah. Now Jacob always has this. One of the hot takes is defense wins. You say offense wins championships.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, or do you think? Because this is a great debate. I mean, do you think though that it's truly offense? Like you could have people dropping 150 versus 148, and the 150 obviously wins.
It's because
over a defense being able to stop them and control them and demoralize the offense.
It's tough because I think in basketball, I think offense does, but with the NFL, when I saw the Rams and Chiefs play, those two offensive powerhouses, and no one could stop each other. I think if like a really good defense, I'm not gonna try to plug the Bears here, but the Bears have a good defensive team.
Bears.
I don't know. I think it's tough to beat the Warriors because their offense is so smooth, so fluid.
Yeah.
If you talk about today's game, like I would not say a definite yes, but Jacob does have a point. Golden State's explosive offensively, and no one cares about defense anymore.
That's the thing too.
Oh, that's the thing. It's like that's what Popovich basically alluded to.
Oh, it's so true.
No one cares.
He had an amazing point. I said preach to that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like today's game is just shooting threes, transition, fast pace, and.
But the game has evolved.
True.
So
unfortunately, like defense is not that prevalent in today's game than it was in the 90s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Jacob definitely has a point. But like this ties into like Houston. Like Houston is just as good
Yeah.
offensively, if not a little closer, maybe a tier down to Golden State.
Yeah.
But if they don't have that defensive identity, I don't know if they can beat the Warriors. So
That's true.
It's true.
it's not always the offense that wins.
Right.
You need at least a decent defensive team.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone's going to say, oh, it's all about offense, because of today's game.
Yeah.
But, there are also those teams that are scrappy. Even the Clippers. They don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Scrappy.
Scrappy team, yeah.
Defensively, they're very good. And even Denver to some extent. Great defensively and great offensively.
Yeah.
There needs to be a balance to some extent. You can't just have a good offense and no defense.
No defense. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think, what else was I say? I lost my train of thought. With the game now, do you think there's a lot of argument that teams today could not beat a team in the 90s because they were such more scrappy? Are you a fan of the movement that Steph Curry has made of, like, shooting first, not a lot of inside, like, driving, like, tough plays?
Ball movement to three shoot, and then transition.
Let's be honest.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to play.
No, it is. No, like,
I mean,
I started basketball my freshman year.
Yeah.
That's where Steph took off.
Yeah.
And that was a good foundation for me to make myself an identity. So for him to, like, evolutionize the game like that, like, I'm thankful that he's, he was a big part of me, like, developing into, like, a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I'm not a big fan of comparing
generations.
teams now.
Oh, that's so
to
tough.
teams in the
Yeah, I
90s.
agree with that. It's so
Just
tough.
can't compare either.
Yeah.
And it's just you can't. It's not possible. Like different rules, different defenses. There's always like
Refs are a lot
there's always
more
tough.
tough.
There's always like an asterisk. Like, oh, are we playing this era, this era, this era?
Yeah, exactly.
Like no, this is you can't like this
No.
is why you can't make the argument because there's so many different question marks going into play. And let's be like, I know a lot of us like to talk about it for suspense reasons, but it ain't gonna happen. Like, I'm
It's
sorry.
so true. Yeah.
Unless we got a time machine where like these
Yeah.
players can go back in the time and play
Right.
each other. And, like,
Exactly.
yeah, but like this is not gonna happen. But today I like where it's going in today's game. Like, for me, it's fun to watch, but there are some guys that are like, oh, I wish there was more defense. Like, there's more slow paced offense.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah.
Let's transition now to the NFL because there's some news overnight that AP actually broke, Associated Press. Kareem Hunt was released from the Kansas City Chiefs. A video surfaced of domestic assault of him kicking and beating up a woman. The reason he was released was obviously the act itself, and then also he covered it up from the Chiefs. And they said, well, you lied to us, we're releasing you. This could be big for the Chiefs. I mean, they still have a pretty solid core, but it will evolve their game style. Because now you don't have an amazing running back to count on.
Well, not only that, this kind of screws up the team chemistry to the point because this is a personal issue that's going on, and releasing him and having this drama and stuff might throw them
demoralizing
off.
too.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think Kansas City, I think they're going to be fine. I don't think they're going to be significantly worse. They still have Tyreek Hill, and they still have a bunch of pieces.
And they have Mahomes, who is the best rookie. The best rookie quarterback?
He throws the football well, and like he's still considered somewhat a rookie. And like I know he, made a lot of mistakes against the Rams game, but I'm glad like I saw like those mistakes from him because like now he can learn. Yeah. And when it comes to playoff time, he's gonna have a good idea. Get someone of a good grasp of how he is. Like, I have Kansas City potentially winning the Super Bowl. Like, that's my pick.
I think it's a big favorite.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I don't know if New England can beat them because at this point of the season, I think it's very clear, like, Chiefs are going to have a home field advantage over New England.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a good idea to count Tom Brady out because we know what happens when that happens.
That's exactly true.
I'll let the 28-3 comeback. But it's going to be very, very tough to beat Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. It's
by far.
Really tough.
Now, what are your thoughts on, after watching like the Kansas City Rams game, what are your thoughts, takeaways?
Favorite to win.
Oh, my God.
Because those were the two favorites
That was probably one of the best regular season games that's ever happened.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was amazing. It was insane. I had Rams winning, obviously, just because, the home field advantage and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, there was a lot of promising things for Kansas City too, despite the mistakes they had. They were still within 3 points.
Yeah.
But I was just like, my God,
it's crazy.
Like 51-54, like that's insane.
Yeah.
17
touchdowns, and this was a funny comparison. So there were 17 touchdowns in that game. The Bills, up until that point, had only scored 13
That's
touchdowns.
so true. Yeah.
That's so sad. I mean, shout out to Austin as a Bills fan, but like still, it is tough to see that. I mean, you're looking at the juggernauts versus like the scrap, which is the Bills.
Like, yeah, my God, like the offensive juggernaut that takes place in Kansas City and the Rams it's been insane. And props to Sean McVay too. And think about it. Some people say Jared Goff is like a top 5 quarterback right now for this season.
Yeah.
This is a guy that got destroyed. I mean, like, destroyed, like, heading into the draft.
Yeah.
But, like, I think another thing is just because, Jeff Fisher was the coach. And, like, a lot of people are like, oh, he's not going to play well under him because, like, he's a horrible coach. Get rid of him. ASAP. And as soon as Jeff Fisher leaves and Sean McVay comes in, like, Jared Goff is a completely different player.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this Rams offense is ridiculous. And the defense is also fantastic too.
Yeah, I had Kareem Hunt on my fantasy team, and then I just realized I'm changing my lineup right now because I just realized like Kareem Hunt is now gone, and so I'm like, oh great, there goes my team. So that was less than ideal. Against Kansas City, Jared Goff got 35.1 fantasy points. He's my quarterback, so I luck out with him. Yeah, it's crazy. These players. What are your thoughts? You're a Panthers fan, right?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, it's been a disappointing 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
This was a loss that really ticked me off. I know that we should have beat the Lions game, but like in the NFL season, there's every once in a while you lose to a bad team, and that's fine. Well, there was a very questionable play in that last game, in that game too, where Ron Rivera decided to go for a 2-point conversion. I don't know what it is, but Ron Rivera does not trust his defense. Absolutely does not trust his defense, and Graham Gano had a bad field goal kicking night. He was horrendous against the Seahawks. There was a lot of missed opportunities, but this defense just lost its confidence. This defense was decent before they lost 3 straight. Like, this was a game that was like they were supposed to win. Now it's like, I don't even know. Like, now the playoffs is still in question because now Seahawks, Panthers, same record. Obviously, they're going to be in the wild card hunt, but they have to pick it up at some point, and they're playing against Tampa Bay, and they're playing against the Saints twice, and that is,
that's extremely tough.
Definitely going to lose one of the two. Like, no offense. I think one of the games when they play against the Saints, they have 0 chance. Like, but they have to pick it up. Tough. It's the defense that's the issue. Offensively, Cam Newton's been fantastic.
Yeah,
you could say.
Like, he played amazing against.
He's a very good quarterback.
No, he played amazing against Seattle. He had that one interception that costed them the game, kind of. But I was like, that's fine. It happens. But this defense is the issue. Like, Luke Kuechly is doing well. It's just, I don't know what's going on. McCaffrey had a fantastic game against Seattle. And I felt really bad because I was like, what a wasted game for this man.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about one of the best running backs, potentially, like top 5. I think McCaffrey, like, should be in the conversation. He's been fantastic this season.
Yeah. No, yeah, Cam Newton's a great quarterback. I love watching him play. He's definitely the type of quarterback I like watching play. He definitely moves the ball more. He takes more risks.
He's very unique.
He is.
He never had a good throwing percentage, but he's one of the greatest rushing quarterbacks because of his size and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's
super athletic.
He's an imposing person.
He just doesn't look like a quarterback.
Right.
But like his throwing percentages have been pretty decent this season. I think it's a lot better than his MVP season, believe it or not.
Wow.
But he's been playing well and stuff. It's just the defense that just hasn't been playing well. It's like Ron Rivera kind of lost trust in them, man.
Right.
I don't know. Hopefully they pick it up, but I mean they have to pick it up now because if you want to make the playoffs, it's not even about are we gonna have a bye week? That's out the window now. Now it's about actually winning games and making sure you're in the playoffs.
Right.
So
speaking of just pure raw athletics, Baker Mayfield was going off on Hugh Jackson the other day. After going to the Bengals. Basically saying like now, why would we run plays that from people we don't believe in? And that's huge to say from a player on a team saying you didn't believe in your coach or your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he came back. Someone fired back at him and said, "Oh, you shouldn't talk like that. You're a rookie." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield, and obviously I love Baker Mayfield. He takes no prisoners. This man just it literally is a savage. And he was like, "No, I stand by what I said. We did not like him. We did not trust him. We did not trust our offensive coordinator. Therefore, we didn't have the morale to play." And I was like, "Damn."
Well, that's interesting because last podcast, or maybe 2 podcasts ago, we were breaking down how we didn't like the move to get rid of. But now Mayfield came out and he's basically saying no, it was bad.
He uncovered kind of like the rumors flying around that like Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, were vying for power. Yeah. So apparently the offensive coordinator was trying to muscle in on Hugh Jackson, saying, "Well, let me run the plays and I'll do this, and he's trying to corner off more. Well, those two didn't get along. Well, that only transcends the rest of the team.
Yeah, but like you don't blame him for taking the Bengals job. Like he was talking about how you don't go and join Cincinnati.
True.
He has a job. He has a life to live.
Yeah.
Like, he need a job. Like that's like saying, "Oh, I should not take a new job offer after getting fired." Mm-hmm. He was fired. Yeah. He was fired for a reason, and the reason may be because of what happened behind the closed curtains that Baker Mayfield talked about. How they didn't get along. They didn't like what he was doing and his like schemes and stuff. But you do not bash this man for taking another job after getting fired.
Yeah.
That does not happen. He has a life to live. He has a family to raise. So like you don't bash him for that. But
I think maybe what Baker was saying though was to say like he was fired because he was a crappy coach, and yet the Bengals picked him up. I think Baker is placing a lot of blame too on the Bengals for like you're going to pick up this coach who was fired from the Browns, who really was the worst team, and I would argue still is. It's it's not great.
Maybe if that's what he means, but like. In terms of, like, in a literal context, you do not bash this guy for taking another job. Yeah. Like, whether it's Cincinnati, whether it's Buffalo. I don't know. Like, you don't. Yeah. Like
there was definitely bad blood between the two.
Yeah,
that's exactly why I said it.
Yeah.
So he's only going to fuel his fire, though, with Mayfield? Like,
what do you mean?
I could tell that Mayfield's very, like, emotional driven. Like, that's going to fuel his fire to even play even better.
Yeah.
And, like, kind of...
He's been playing great.
After he left, he played amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's... So we've gotten to the 4 games that I said that the Browns would be the upper level. And so now I am happy with what we did. Exactly. I am happy with what we did. Now, do I think we'll win some more? I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I would hope so.
The schedule is not that bad.
It's not
your middle schedule was pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing the Texans, though. I mean...
You got Panthers in 2 weeks. That'll be good.
That's only if Panthers pick it up.
Best Bengals. That'll be fun to watch. There's going to be a lot of...
Well, yeah, we beat them. So we beat them 35-20 on Sunday, 11-25. We're going to play them again on the day before Christmas Eve, so Christmas Eve. And we're playing them at 1 p.m. So that would be crazy if we can punch them in the mouth again. Because we did really well against them, 35-20. I'll take that.
I see the Browns winning at least 2 more games.
I can see
them
that's
winning
the
the Bengals game.
You almost won.
Yeah, I can see them winning the Bengals game and the Ravens game. Because, like...
Ravens' defense is pretty solid, is it not?
If the Ravens do get in for good for playoffs and they have nothing to play for, they're just going to drop the ball. And I think Cleveland's just going to take that one.
Yeah. So. Texans will be a loss. Texans are a very solid team. No. Panthers, I mean...
That's only if their defense picks up.
I know, because our defense has kind of slipped.
Very skeptical. They better show up against the Buccaneers game, and if they do capitalize, then I think they'll pick it up. But I am a little concerned at this point.
See, I could see the Browns actually beating the Panthers as being one of our wins, because I think our issue is obviously trying to control Cam Newton and get the defense going, but our defense is pretty solid. I mean, Njoku is a very solid defensive tight end, so I mean, I'll take him. Broncos, that's a loss. That's just whatever.
I see Panthers and Bengals.
Keep in mind
Panthers, Bengals, and possibly Ravens, as you were saying. If they have he said if they secure a playoff spot, they don't, you don't really have to play again. But I would argue that like you're gonna take wins when you can.
Yeah, but keep in mind for the Panthers, like Cam Newton's not the only weapon. You also have to take into account Greg Wilson, McCaffrey. McCaffrey should be like your number one awareness.
I mean, if their defense is slipping with the Browns,
a lot of their offensive plays that they've been running was dished the ball to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey just went off in Seattle. I
Exactly.
remember they did a drop off to him. He went for 80 yards, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that is
Yeah,
insane.
right.
Like, that's also what like the Cowboys do. Like, hand it off to Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott will figure it out, and like,
Yeah, no, he's a solid guy. We'll be right back after this quick break, talk about BC, because our sports are moving.
Oh, yeah.
We're making moves.
Making moves.
Making moves.
We'll be back.
Keep it locked and rocking.
Welcome back to First Stop. Here with Sungho on a Saturday morning. We're going to talk about BC sports real quick.
Yeah, so hockey won against BU last night. Nice.
Clap it up.
Yeah, 4-1. We play again tonight at home in Conti Forum. It's going to be cool. We won't be able to go, sadly. We're going to an orchestra concert.
Yes.
But that will be a lot of fun. Our team is looking pretty solid given how like low expectations our hockey team was given. We were not supposed to do well under any circumstances. So hopefully it goes well. Additionally, we also
Ended pretty sorely with football season.
yeah.
So we lost FSU, then we lost to Syracuse. So tough way. We had a great season in retrospect. Game day coming here, so couldn't ask for anything more than that.
No.
We'll probably get in a bowl game.
Yeah,
but
by far, we're over.
We have high hopes for next season.
Right. And also AJ Dillon, I expect, would stay, given that he was injured this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, out of Heisman contention, wants to do it again. So we have one more season of AJ Dillon, and see how that goes. I think he's going to be obviously amazing.
Yeah.
He recovered from that injury and bounced back quite well. Excuse me. Men's basketball, we're now on a 4-game win streak. Granted, it is the beginning of the season where you start buffing up your stats. But we beat Minnesota in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, 68-56. We beat Sacred Heart, 81-73. Now we're going to play on Tuesday, Providence, and then it starts getting into the tough ones. Texas A&M.
Yep. Duke,
Columbia.
North Carolina.
Yeah, that's later on. Duke
Notre
is
Dame.
February. Virginia, VT. Those are in January. That's after winter break. So, then we start getting into the ACC games as opposed to just the random ones. But, I don't know. I'd be interested to see what Sam says about his takes, given how we lost to IUPUI, and what he sees. What do you think?
I don't know. It's just like I was just like a little skeptical, and I was just like, oh, we lost to. I was like, I've never heard of this school before.
No.
Yeah.
It was just like, what on earth happened? But
The Jaguars.
Yeah.
Very fierce. Very fierce.
Yeah. But
They did kind of kill us.
It blows, but
Yeah.
move on to the next game. But there are no 4-game winning streak. They're playing well. So
I think like with college, Zion Williams.
oh,
This man.
I am just this is unfair. Like the amount of talent Duke University has
it's crazy.
with Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett.
It's crazy.
And like it's been crazy and stuff. And believe it or not, I would personally take RJ Barrett over Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
For a number 1 overall pick, just because he's more of a complete player.
Yeah.
And Zion Williamson is just this athletic, freakish monster.
Yeah.
I think if he works on his craft and perfects his skills offensively, like getting a jump shot, being a better passer, then my God, he's going to take off.
Yeah.
But I think his comparisons to LeBron, let's pump the brakes, because that's way too soon.
But do you think him being that good this early
Yeah.
is at least telling of something some later on?
Yeah, it is. It's a very promising sign that what he could potentially do. And there's even NBA players that have already said they don't want to take an offensive foul on this guy. He's not even in the pros yet. He's like 280 pounds. It's it's like a freight train. Just think about how demoralizing college athletes would be going up against him.
Yeah.
My God, he's special, and his shooting percentage is insane. I know it's all dunks and stuff, but my God, how can you shoot 70 or 80% from the field?
Right.
That's just ridiculous. And he's averaging 25 points per game. I'm just God, please, that's cheat code. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think us three are going to be pretty high up in the draft with our teams.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought you meant us individually. I was like, wow, I am an athlete.
We are the
but-
GM.
I wasn't planning to go to the NBA. I was like, wow, all right.
Eric, his vertical's unreal.
Yeah,
Get up
it
there.
really is. It's 3 inches, yeah.
If you're the GM of the Suns and you have the first pick, you're taking Barrett.
That's a tough call.
A lot of mock drafts are saying the Suns could land Williamson. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was the Mavericks that could land.
It was Mavericks or Bulls. Bulls could.
But that's a tough
Bulls,
call for
Bulls.
Phoenix.
Cavs.
Just because, you do need a point guard.
Yeah.
Desperately need a point guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably that's also a big culprit of why they've been horrendous this season. Like, we don't have a guy that can dish the ball to Ayton, and like we need good playmakers and stuff. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I would probably take Zion. Probably, yeah, that's probably.
The negatives to Zion in Cleveland is that maybe people will compare him to LeBron.
That's what I'm saying.
And
that's why
put too much.
That's way too much pressure for them.
Of a pressure. So that's why with rookies, I don't like when people automatically assume that rookies are going to be like Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
After one good game, like with Mayfield.
Not
so
like that.
I don't want Williamson to ruin his career because he's trying to live up to the.
Well, that's what Coach K said too. He said, "Guys, Duke fans, you gotta stop hyping this team up because I think he knows that like it's possible they could really not do well as they want, and then Duke fans would be demoralized."
Yeah.
I mean, he said that in a press interview. Man, that's pretty bold for a coach. Obviously, it's Coach K. You can say whatever, but like it's pretty bold for him to say like, pump the brakes on the hype. Really.
Yeah.
Can't have all the hype. I'm like, wow.
I'm not a big fan of comparisons and stuff, so I think the biggest thing I want these players to do is just play their game. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I know no matter where he goes, I know he's gonna have this opportunity to play well. And I know the whole comparison to LeBron, like that's definitely something like people should pump the brakes, but obviously people are not going to because they like to have attention and bring stuff to the media. So like obviously they're gonna talk about that, but he's gonna be great.
What are your thoughts on Gonzaga now being number one?
It was surprising the way they play against Duke. However,
that was crazy.
Duke did make a ridiculous comeback towards the end.
Yeah.
And that last play was a foul.
That last play,
that last play was a foul.
Yeah.
But, Gonzaga's up there too. I mean, there's a lot of, great talent and stuff, and like they proved that they can beat anyone, including Duke. And not only that, they're not afraid to play against Duke.
Yeah.
A lot of college teams are demoralized. Gonzaga's one of those teams that are just like,
yeah,
I don't care who comes in this building, but we're going to come out and play and give our best shot.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's I think it's time for some news. We will take a very short break and we'll be back with some headlines. Keep it locked and rocking. The following does not represent a bias on behalf of WZBC or WVBC under any circumstances. The following is for educational purposes only. If any opinion is expressed in the following, they're not reflective of WZBC or WVBC, respectively. Now for this week's headlines. Late last night, former U.S. President George H.W. Bush has passed at the age of 94. President Trump released a statement this morning praising his sound judgment, common sense, and unflappable leadership. He will be surely missed.
Yeah.
Microsoft surpasses Apple as the world's most valuably publicly traded company as Microsoft's big bet in the cloud pays off. Officials have canceled the tsunami warning for Alaska that was after a 7-magnitude earthquake that was about to rock the island with a massive tsunami. They said it is diffused. New York Attorney General has opened an investigation into a Marriott data breach that may have affected 500 million guests, including credit card informations and social security numbers. Leaders of U.S., Canada, and Mexico signed a revised trade pact. The new NAFTA, or UNESCO, says it might face fight approval in a divided Congress. Finally, Ukraine's border guard service said that Russian men between 60 and 60 have been barred from traveling to Ukraine after the incident in the Black Sea. Welcome back to First Stop with Sungho. It's time to actually learn who Sungho is.
Oh, yeah. So we kind of met all each other last year. We're on Newton.
Yeah.
Newton guys. Well, I met you kind of in the hut. We were kind of ballers. Me and a couple other guys. We just kind of balled every night.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, nice.
So Suns fan?
Yeah,
Or you're a player
home
guy.
team.
You're a player guy.
Player guy, but watching a lot of Suns basketball when I was a kid and stuff, and like I obviously followed them because they're within, the city, and I my school was near the the Talking Stick Resort Arena, so
That's cool.
yeah,
That's sweet. That's awesome. What are you majoring in?
I'm undecided, but likely going to be sociology major.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
That's
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's big news.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
What got you into basketball? What really got you in that?
I watched a ton. Like I started watching basketball since I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
My dad was a big basketball guy. So I watched the entire Steve Nash era. But I don't know what it is. It's just like the more I watched it, I really liked the camaraderie that goes on, like with the fans and stuff, and I also really liked the game. I never really thought about playing to like, cause like, I got to a point where I started playing music. Playing violin. Like, music was like a big part of my life in middle school, high school. So in middle school, like I was playing a ton of violin and piano and stuff. But like, as much as enjoyable that was, like I was always looking for something that I wanted to enjoy in life too, and like I had a lot of low points in my life. Like a lot of people like bullied me and stuff. A lot of people picked on me, and I didn't really know how to handle situations like that. And I remember when I was at the lowest point in my life, like one of my friends told me like find something you enjoy. And I think one day, because I went to performing arts school, we played music every day.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So no one played sports. I remember one day, one of our workers put up a basketball hoop, and I said, "Let's give it a shot." And ever
No pun
since,
intended.
Yeah, let's give it a shot and see how it goes. And like I wasn't really good, but like I liked it, and I was like, I keep going. Like maybe I can improve and keep going. And like ever since, it's been a great journey and stuff, and I enjoy every single minute of playing basketball with people. And like I know we haven't hooped much just because like we've been busy.
Yeah.
And also like being in Colruyt, it's
a hike to get to the gym.
It's tough, but like we've had great memories together and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what
cool.
really got me into basketball.
Yeah.
I think like the big thing is like you're like known as like a big shooter at like BC, like in pickup games and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that I respect is like you're always putting in work.
Yeah.
Like you always want to get better every night.
Yeah.
Like you're always putting in work. Is it because you just are you like striving towards kind of a goal with basketball? Like, or do you want to go into something with basketball or
I don't know.
the NBA or kind of working with something, or is it just you love it?
I love it a lot, but I also wanted to see how much, because like in high school I couldn't really play much because like my parents wanted me to study, and I had to also playing violin and piano like really interfered me. Like I was playing for hours and hours for music, but like also like playing basketball. But I don't know if I have like a goal, but like my goal is always to improve every single day.
Yeah.
See how far I can go.
Yeah.
And putting in work and stuff, and like it's been great. And this year though, like I've taken time off like at least like a day, like during Saturday or like Friday. Like I've always had a time where I'm like take a day off, spend time with my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember last year I was playing every single day because like I could not like because like I'm in college, parents aren't around, I can do whatever I want. So like I really wanted to fulfill, and not only that, there was an 8-month period in 2017 from like January to like August, and I was having serious back pain, and like there was a lot of questions whether I could like keep playing basketball and whatnot. And I went through a massive process of physical therapy. I did acupuncture for Christ's sake, and like, it was hurting to the point. And they told me like I was diagnosed with scoliosis and hyperkyphosis, and they said the time period of me recovering was like 10 years.
Jeez.
And like they told me like, hey, it's fine to play basketball, but like it's gonna take a while. And they told me like you can't do back surgery itself; it's not fixable. First of all, I was totally opposed to back surgery to start with because it's not always the automatic cure. So stuck with it. And once I got to college, once I got here, back pain like pretty much disappeared.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best I felt in a really long time. I waited for a year to get back.
Wow.
And that's why I was like, oh my God, I want to take advantage as much as I can while I'm feeling great and stuff.
Right.
And that's why I put in so much work.
Wow.
Being grateful with the opportunity I have to play without dealing with the pain that I had in my senior year of high school. And it was rough.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you're on an intramural team now, right?
Yeah.
You guys won, right?
Yeah.
In the playoffs?
We have a playoff game coming up Sunday, 9 p.m.
Wow.
So if you guys want to maybe watch and stuff.
Yeah.
Watch.
we got
Our team lost.
It was tough. It was such a good game. It was so close.
I was watching. There was a lot of questionable calls, and we also got screwed over with calls and stuff. And like,
I saw the end score was like what 30-29.
Yeah,
It's a low scoring game.
It was an awful game.
Oh wow.
It was an awful game for both teams. We just could not score, and like it was a very physical game, and like I didn't score at all, but I don't care. Like a dub was a dub. So I was
That's true.
Yeah, I'm glad that we get to play another game, and hopefully I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
I think one thing I really like about basketball itself is you create like a lot of great relationships with people, and like no matter where you're from, your background, we don't care about your race and stuff. And like when you're in that basketball court, I know we're just playing pickup, but you're playing together. You're communicating. You're creating this kind of like bond and stuff, and it helps a lot. Like, and that's why I really like playing basketball. It's not just about I just like the sport. I just like putting the ball in the hoop. It's not that. A lot of my closest friends I met through the basketball court.
Mhm.
The people I live with now, I met through basketball. I met you guys on the basketball
Right,
court
yeah,
too.
true.
That's so true.
And
Yeah.
it's
I don't
it's
know what
always-
the hell I was doing on the basketball court, but I was there. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what
That shot is funky, like Sean Marriott.
Wow, thanks, man.
Not joking.
But it's just there's so much I've learned about relationships with people and how basketball can really bring a community together and stuff. And
Right.
I always play even despite the chaos I have in my personal life and academic life, it's always when I play basketball, my mind's always off of it. And
Right.
hanging out with you guys and stuff and playing basketball with other people, it's always fun and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always have a great time.
Right.
So
That's the one thing I think a lot of people like about team sports like that. With the dynamic, is you build such a community and you're just grooving together.
Mhm.
And in a very chaotic situation, you're grooving, you're forming, kind of some controlled chaos, and it's pretty sweet.
And when you're playing with teammates consistently, you create this chemistry and stuff, and you get to read and you get to have a good idea of how they play and stuff.
Right.
And it ties into your life when you meet
Yeah.
someone new. You build up a chemistry and you find an idea of who the person is.
Right.
And you get to know this person and their tendencies. And there's also tendencies on the basketball court too.
Yeah.
What is this guy not good at? It's also a personal life.
Right.
What is this guy what is something that may bug you a little bit? And I think I wish I hope basketball can help people become more open minded too.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of people now these days just kind of close their minds and say I don't like this person because A, B, or C. It's fine if you don't like anyone. If there's someone that you don't like, it's fine. That's fine. But the biggest thing is you have to know how to respect the person.
Mhm.
I feel nowadays people just don't respect the person. They don't like him, and
Right.
that also ties into basketball. If you don't like playing with A, B, or C, it's fine. Respect them.
Yep.
At least give them the ball. Don't
Right.
just don't pass the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
It bugs me when people do that. But I think the way society is now, I just wish people just appreciate it, and I wish people were more patient and understanding.
Mhm.
And that's also another thing you tie into in basketball court. You have to be patient and understanding of players and how they play, and even if they make a mistake, you have to be it's fine, next play.
Right.
Oh, it's fine. And not only that, take into consideration you're playing for fun.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
don't I used to be really competitive. I used to have a lot of anger issues when I wasn't playing well last year. But now looking back and stuff, I was no, there's no need for me to beat myself up in that. If I have a bad game, so what? Move on to the next one and keep playing.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great.
What do you think is the best way for you to progress or anyone to progress in basketball? What do you find, logistically speaking, is the best way for
when,
one to...
when you go to the Plex and you
Yeah.
go do some sort of practice, what are your drills? What do you do?
Well, I'm not really, I just shoot a lot for my drills and stuff. But I think playing pickup game with people that are significantly
Because you're
That's
actually
the
pressing
easiest
in the
way.
game.
not only
yeah.
that, the people
Right.
who are playing gets significantly better.
Yeah.
Oh, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
I remember last year I didn't play a lot of 5v5 and I wasn't playing well, but now I'm playing 5v5 a lot more often at the Plex. I'm getting a lot more comfortable getting to my spots, and then my teammates are very encouraging. They know my spots too, and they telegraph their passes to me perfectly. And one thing I learned when I play 5v5 that I thrive a lot well is transition. When you run in transition and you kick it out for an open three, I thrive a lot in that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, defenders don't get back and they can throw the ball. And if they clog up the paint, they're going to forget about a shooter. So all they have to do is kick it out. And so,
yeah.
I really like playing that type of basketball and stuff. And that's where I thrive, a lot. And it's great. But for me, the biggest thing is always playing against people that are a lot better than you. And I remember, we were playing co-rec, and I was playing really well. First half, I think I scored 23 out of the 34 points of my team. And then I realized our opponents were club player teams and they started playing D on me, and it was a good measuring point. I couldn't score the rest of the game,
Yeah.
which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it's a good learning experience, learning from guys who are on the club team significantly better. It's a good way for you to learn and know how to get better. But for me, I don't really have drills and stuff. I like to do 3-point contests and stuff. I like to put up I like to do sets of 25, 25 threes, and
I see.
you do a total set of 100, 4 sets of 25, see where you are, shooting
Yeah.
percentages.
Oh,
I used to
I like
do that
that.
a lot
Yeah.
with someone else, but now he's been busy and stuff. I just been shooting around, putting up shots on my own.
Right.
But I would suggest if there's anyone that wants to get better, really play against people that are better than you. And there's also people that are willing to teach you, let you know how to get to your spots and stuff. And it's okay if you make mistakes. Play your game and and try to take advice from people too. There's a lot of people at the gym that are willing to help you out in a good way and respectful way too, most importantly. So
I think the big thing with shooting is it's either like a feel or very mechanical. So a lot of guys are like, no, your elbows gotta be in this position, follow through out of the box. But I think with you, is it more of a feel?
It's whatever you're comfortable with, and at this point for me, it's just muscle memory, and just knowing how it feels, and like you just get a good grasp of like when the shot is off. I have a very good idea when my shot's off, and like sometimes when I release it, I immediately say it's short or long.
Yeah.
And I tell people, or I run right straight to the rim just to try to get a rebound and because like a lot of times like they might be too close to the rim, but if I know where it is,
right.
I think like as far as mechanics wise, you have to go with what's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And like you have to start from there, and like if you consistently put up work, a lot of people ask me like, oh, how do you become this awesome shooter? You got to teach me. I'm like, it's hard for me to teach you. Like mechanically, the only thing I can teach you is shooting drills. And like I do the 3-point contest thing too. 5 in the corner, 5 in the left wing, 5 top of the key, 5 in the right wing, 5 in the right corner. Like it helps a lot. It gives you good measurement. And the entire summer was just off. I was just doing purely off of shooting percentage, like what my shooting percentage is when I put up 30 3-point shots. Just because like I couldn't play against people because like it's different when you play in Korea. Like there's not that many competition. Not only that, people there are also like studying at the time too, and they have stuff to do. So
is basketball big in Korea?
Not really.
Okay.
But there's a group of Korean people that I play with here that are pretty good and stuff. I think one thing that's interesting about the people I play with that are like Koreans and like other stuff, like they're really good offensively, and there's also some guys that are really good defensively too.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they have like their offensive talent is most of the times it's a lot better than me, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I respect that, and like that's what I like. It's just like we putting in work and stuff, and for me, like I'm not that great to be honest. Like I would consider myself as average. Like I'm not good and stuff, and like I know a lot of people like give me this reputation. That's because I always have this energy in myself too when I'm on the court. I tend to be cocky and stuff. I tend to talk some trash. But
right. That's just Jake on an average day.
Yeah.
Talking trash.
But for me, the most important thing is enjoying and having fun and also getting better every day.
Yeah, I think it's not taking like that banner is fun. It's not like an insult to the person when you're like kind of talking like that.
Right.
It's it's like hard.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I think you nailed it too. Anytime you want to get good on something, compare yourself to those who are the best, not those who are not you in relation to others who don't play, right?
Yeah.
We forget like there's a lot of good basketball players all over the world.
Yeah.
Let alone in this BC campus too.
Right.
Like I'm just like I forget like there's so many good players in here that I can learn from, and any advice I get from them, I'm always happy to hear, and it's a privilege for me too, because like that means like people care about me, and they want me to improve and stuff, and they have and they see like potential in what I could be in the coming years and stuff, and like I'm sure this is gonna last a while. This journey's gonna last a while, and just trying to get better every day. So
yeah, that's awesome. Hey, well, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. Yeah,
thanks, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, as always, you know where to find us. We have an email, firststopofficial@gmail.com. Email us with any questions, comments, topics you want to cover, or concerns. If you don't like either of us, email us that too. We always like listening to fan mail. We also have an iTunes.
That's right. So iTunes, First Stop. It's going to be First Stop Official. The author is First Stop Official, but the podcast right now is called First Stop. Right. We are the Coffee Cup Blue and Red. Catch us next week, 9 a.m., WVBC as usual, with a whole new special guest. Follow us on iTunes podcast. You got the website, firststopofficial.com, where we have some awesome sports blogs, politics articles, entertainment stuff.
Right. Check out some merch. We don't make any money off of the merch, so it's just right to you, direct from the website.
That's right.
Definitely rock some merch. It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Definitely get some merch.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug, Sungho? Instagram, anything?
Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm down for anything. So,
yeah, dope. All right, we will see you at the next stop.